Hi, how you doing and welcome back to another video on the channel. What we have for you today is our early preview going into Game Week 12. We're going to take a review look at how my team did in Game Week 11 and then we'll move on to talking team selection, transfer advice and captaincy options moving forward. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. I've had a few new subscribers since the last video, which is awesome and it means we're closing in on 250 subs, which for a small channel is a cool milestone to get to. So if you can help us get there, that would be really appreciated, and thank you to those who have supported the channel so far. Let's get into the video. So I'm not super keen to talk about Game Week 11, to be honest, because even though I've had a few red arrows in recent game weeks, they've been small ones, ones that we'd maybe call grey arrows, where 1 or 2 points difference and your rank doesn't change too much. This was a proper red arrow this game week, about 600k going down the ranks, and the real difference is I captained Haaland and the people around me probably had Salah and captained him. And that's about 18 points difference there as it is. So that would take your score from 38 to the mid 50s, and it turns a bad week into a good week. So what does that tell me? Well, it tells me my team, whilst haven't scored consistently, they're not a million miles away. 1 or 2 changes and it could be sorting it out. And it's not really like my players are playing bad. On the pitch, they're creating chances and they're having chances. It's just not translating into FPL points, which for me is a problem because the game is FPL and we're trying to get points. So where do we go from here? Well, the first thing is to just keep a positive mindset, because when you play FPL for a full season, you're going to have these bad game weeks where you drop down in ranks. And I always think if you go down 600k in a game week, you can always go up 600k in the next game week. It's not always that straightforward, but see it as a positive challenge to try and claw back that rank. And even if you're chipping away at a few game weeks, that can be fun moving forward. So just a little bit of advice for myself and for you guys for if and when you have those bad game weeks. And like we say, players like Foden, Strand Larsen, Watkins, Haaland, Palmer, they're good players who are playing well. It's just not working out for them. The main issue for me is Kevin Schade. He's someone who I brought in for Vissa when he got injured, and he had a few chances, had a couple of headers cleared off the line. And for me, Vissa comes back in and then he's scoring goals left, right and centre, and that just sums up where FPL is at the moment. But a good way of looking at it for me is that going into Sunday's games, I didn't have any Spurs players and I didn't have Chris Wood. People were going to captain those players as well, and they all blanked. So for me, that's a positive in my team, and it almost felt like I was gaining points when they blanked, because I'd got in that mindset of they're going to score and I'm going to be outside the top 1 million. So every cloud has a little silver lining, and we're going to talk about how we can improve the team and use the 3 free transfers I've got later in the video. But let's take a look at the early captaincy options, and even though it is really early, we might as well take a look. And for me, I can't really get past having Mo Salah as your captain if you've got him. Southampton away is a good fixture for Liverpool. If you don't own Salah like me, I think Haaland is still good. He still scored in the last game week. He's getting those chances. If you really wanted to go out there, Bruno Fernandes away at Ipswich is a great option as well. Me personally, I'm probably going to not have Salah for that Southampton game, so I'm just going to have to ride the wave again, a bit like how I did with Spurs and Ipswich this game week. And it is possible that they don't score points, but I have to anticipate that Salah will score points in this game and just go with it and hope that my combination of players can just counteract that. So the team for this game week coming up is looking okay. Like, we've got good fixtures, a lot of home games in defence, and Spurs at home for Man City is not the worst fixture in the world either. Watkins playing Crystal Palace at home, that's a good fixture. And Strand Larsen can still score against Fulham. They're not a tight, shut defence, for Fulham. There is going to be chances there for Wolves. And Mbeumo has Everton away. That's an okay fixture. And Chelsea, they've got Leicester away. So that's a good fixture as well. So looking at my team for this game week, it's not like I've got to completely scrap it and start again. There's good players in there and there's good fixtures in there, but I do have 3 free transfers in the bank, but no money in there. So Kevin Schade is the obvious weak point, right? I can see it, you can see it, we can all see it, but I can't upgrade him without selling someone first and generating the funds. So the easiest place for me to get the money from is Gvardiol. Now I'm kind of just fed up with Man City's defence. They're just not keeping clean sheets. Gvardiol's been getting away with it a little bit because he's been scoring goals. But it's a bit like Gabriel earlier in the season. How many goals is he realistically going to score? You can't rely on that from a defender, and he is the easiest price point to get rid of to someone else who is semi-productive. And I've gone with Lewis Hall here. He's riding that wave from getting an England call-up, and although he's got West Ham and Crystal Palace, that's good fixtures, he has also got Liverpool at home, and Brentford away is not the easiest. But once those fixtures are done, he does have Leicester and Ipswich in the next two onwards. So that's a run of fixtures where you could say 4, maybe even 5 of those 6 fixtures are really good. And at 4.3 million, if he continues to start and has also been getting into attacking positions, Newcastle's season could be turning around. We did say when we owned Isak and Gordon at the start of the season, I had faith in Newcastle because they don't have European football moving forward, and they will even that out when other teams do start to get a bit more fatigued and pick up those injuries from playing those extra midweek games. So getting that transfer there gives me 1.8 million and does allow me to upgrade from Kevin Schade to Semenyo. Now, I was really trying to find a way to get Bruno Fernandes instead of Kevin Schade here, but I just couldn't get that amount of money in the bank. But Semenyo is still a great pick. Brighton, Wolves and Ipswich in that fixture run, and then he's also got West Ham, Man United and Palace onwards from that going into Christmas, and I think that's a good option. We know how many shots he's taking. He's one of the top players for shots in the box and attempts on goal, so from an attacking point of view he looks great, at least a lot better than Kevin Schade. And having that extra money left over, because you might be thinking, you only need 0.6 million there, why are you selling Gvardiol? It will also allow me to upgrade Brian and Mbeumo to Bruno Fernandes. Now, when I do that is a matter of opinion, because Brian Mbeumo has good fixtures moving forward, for at least for the next 2, and then I would look to sell him anyway. Bruno Fernandes, although he has, Man City in these next 5 games, after those 5 games he's got Bournemouth and Wolves, so that chunk of 7 looks pretty good. And if I'm going to want him in the long term, why not get him in now and counter that Ipswich fixture for him? Everton have been playing a little bit better and Mbeumo hasn't been scoring as consistently, so I could use all 3 transfers there, and it does give me 0.4 in the bank just to cover if there's any injuries. Now, the risk of doing it immediately is obviously that there's injuries that could come up in the international break, but I've already missed out on a couple of price movements and I'm kind of just ready to go with it on this one. If it doesn't work out, I've still got my wild card, hidden away, and I can just scrap my team at any point and have that flexibility. It's not like I've just used my wild card earlier in the season and I'm stuck on, and these transfers, there's a lot more pressure on them. I have got that safety net of using a wild card and then just, making those moves and starting afresh as it is. So let me know what you think. I'm kind of happy just to make these 3 transfers. I think as a trio, they look better. Although it's not ideal to get rid of Mbeumo, moving all that around, it looks good. Now, there is the possibility just to keep Mbeumo for the next 2 game weeks and see how it goes. Maybe back against Bruno Fernandes and just do Gvardiol to Lewis Hall and then Schade to Semenyo and just have that as a duo. I think that's also a good option. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you do 2 transfers here or would you do 3? Let me know if you've got any questions with your own team as well moving forward. You're a bit stuck on where to go. How did you do in the last game week? Was it like mine or did you have a good one? And, let me know what you think in regards to my team selection moving forward. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully had a better game week than me. Enjoy a bit of a break in the international week as well. Move away from FPL if that's what you want for a little bit. And I will see you in the next one.